drum has a huge bullet hole on one side. Everything indicates that it was being used for target practice. I'm not going to snuff out.
Michael, thank God you've come back. Colin is worse. His trances are getting longer and deeper. My wife and I are afraid the end is near. Please tell me that you've brought the medicine to cure his disease.
This is going to be very hard. But this man deserves to know the truth. I owe him that. I'm sorry, Rod. You have to see this. It's an army report. It says that the cure we were talking about doesn't exist. That it never existed.
No, but there has to be a cure. There has to be hope for us. The vultures are starting to gather around our trailer, waiting for the end so they can take my son's belongings. Colin himself can see them from the window of his room.
Calm down, Rod.
Don't tell me to calm down! You've brought ruin to this house. You've come to sentence Colin to death. But that drug exists. It has to exist!
Listen to me, Rod. I've done everything in my power to find the drug, but there is no such thing. Try to understand. There's no cure for the dissolved.
The dissolved? I warned you, Michael. I warned you not to use that word in this house! Get out of here! Get out of our lives forever!
Wait, Rod. I'm sorry, but you promised to help me. You promised to help me get my identity back.
Help you? You've ruined our lives. You've condemned our little boy to death. Get out of here.
Michael? Michael, I have to talk to you. I have a message. I have a message from her.
My God, it's Colin. A message from her?
Michael! Michael, please! She told me to talk to you.
Where do you think you're going? Don't you dare go into that room. You're not welcome in this house anymore.
But the boy, he called out to me by name.
Colin's delirious. He doesn't even know who you are. Get away from my family immediately.
Michael! Michael! I have a message from her. It's very important.
Damn you. Don't go near that door. Listen, Michael. We have a gun in that room with 2 bullets in it. Don't make me waste one of them on you.
It's all right, Rod. Calm down. I'm leaving.
And as for you, vultures, drawn by the scent of death, I won't let you take anything. You hear me? Not a single thing! When this is over, when he's gone, I'll make sure there's nothing left for you. You won't get anything! You won't get anything.
Hey, Hank. What if I told you I know where you can get more fuel than you've ever dreamed of?
Don't call me that again, dude. Like I told you, that man died in the Great Wave. But you have aroused my curiosity. So, where is this place? Information like that is well worth the batteries you need.
A few hours ago, I found its generators to power its electrical system. They're storing hundreds of barrels of fuel in a huge depot, which is hidden behind a fence that goes all the way around the compound. It's invisible from the outside.
Yeah, and I suppose you brought those hundreds of barrels to the camp to bargain with me.
No, but I do have the key that will let you and your men get them out of there without raising suspicion. It's a vehicle pass for entering the compound, stamped by the Army.
That's a very interesting story, dude. I'll have to do some checking, but it sounds promising. Now, if what you're saying is true, you're going to make one weary old bear very happy. But if you're lying, I'll find you wherever you try to hide, and I'll maul you with my paws right on the spot.
So you'll give me the batteries in exchange for the ID?
Deal. The ID is now mine. Here are the batteries you asked for.
After using it to splice the electric cable on the front of the building, the Hunter's thugs must have left it here. It's not my old pair of bolt cutters, but it could be useful to me.
Hey Mike, wait! Before you go. I've been thinking about it, and now it's my turn to propose a deal to you.
A deal?
Yeah, listen. Me and my boys don't like leaving the camp any more than we have to. We're a bit too well known and sought after by the pigs out there, if you get my drift.
I see.
All that talk about the medical center, the fuel and the ID got me curious. I need to get the lay of the land, to check out some things and work out a plan. But I can't expose myself. It would look very suspicious if I were to be seen poking around out there.
Of course. And what do you need from me?
Bring us enough information about that depot for us to make a plan. I'm talking diagrams, coordinates, maps, or better yet, a photo. Bring back what I'm asking for, and I'll give you whatever you want in return. What is it you need, dude?
Oh, I don't need much. Just for someone to recover the old world and bring it back.
I'm afraid you're asking too much, Mike. For now, the laws of physics are the only thing from the past that me and my men haven't managed to subvert. In any case, I wouldn't try to prevent that great wave, even if I knew how to do it. Things are fine just the way they are.
Could you make it so I get my life back?
Your life? Oh yeah, I remember now you're a blank head. Listen, dude, be careful about what you wish for, because maybe what you're looking for isn't what you want to find. Are you sure there's anything in that black hole worth bringing back? We're at a new beginning. This is the start of a new era, and you've woken up in it without any baggage. Enjoy it, Mike.
Do you know the trailer where Rod Atkinson...
Yes, of course. I know Rod, that hypocritical busybody. He still thinks that with his old world morality, he can save everyone in the camp. He's a real pain in the ass, dude.
They have a young son, Colin. I can't tell you why, but I need to be alone with the kid, just for a few minutes. You have to make a commotion outside to keep Rod and his wife distracted long enough. Keep them busy for a few minutes. Find any excuse, but I need time alone with that boy.
You never cease to amaze me, Mike. I don't know what you've got in mind, but it's none of my business. Bring me the information I asked you for. Bring me that photo of the fuel depot of the hospital, and I promise you'll have all the time you need to do whatever it is you want to do with that boy. And my complete discretion, of course.
I don't know what idea is percolating in the Hunter's sick mind right now, but I have to play along to avoid having to explain anything. Deal. But nobody gets hurt, okay?
Bring me that photograph of the fuel depot at the hospital, and we'll do whatever's strictly necessary.
Okay, let's see if this device still works. Huh, it works, but what do we have here? It's a list with hundreds of names, places, and addresses. Okay, let's enter the address shown on the card from Beechwood Oracle, 24 Mametz Wood Street. The map shows me a place near downtown. Let's go have a look. Three huge lights struggle to illuminate everything they can with their precarious electrical system. They actually seem to create more shadows than light. The only light source for the area is hanging from this wooden post, and the tangle of cables and shoddy connections up there. This enormous construction tarp hangs from up there like a stage curtain. I guess it's a vestige of one of the few reconstruction jobs that were just after the Great Wave hit.
Hey you! What are you doing here? Didn't you hear the curfew warning?
Relax. Look at his wrist. He's got a mole bracelet.
So you're one of those domesticated rats? You people disgust me. At least the rest of the worms at the camp have some dignity. But you guys, the moles, you're nothing more than a pack of treacherous stool pigeons.
No doubt, I have a great paragon of dignity before me. My hatred for these pigs has only grown. And more so since the incident at the camp entrance with the mole's children. Ruthless bastards. I just want to ask you guys a few questions. Do you know what the establishment...
I can't say I do. I lived on the other side of town. But judging from what's left, I'd say it looks like it was a bookstore.
Well, I for one am glad that nest of bookworms was destroyed. I never liked books. They always were a total waste of time.
Is that right? At first glance, I would have taken you for someone with refined literary tastes.
I think that description fits you to a T.
Watch your mouth, you dirty rat! And don't think that bracelet would protect you. I could blow your head off without batting an eyelid. Don't forget who's in charge here.
Why are you posted here?
Just following orders. Rat, we're here to protect and serve you.
Yes, I can see how the people feel much safer with you around.
We're doing our nightly rounds, and we have orders to keep a particular eye on this neighborhood.
And why this neighborhood in particular?
Well, as you can see, this area of the city was left almost intact after the Great Wave. It was kind of a miracle. Most of the homes and businesses are still standing. If there's anything left in the city worth guarding, it's here.
You ask a lot of questions. Have you come to steal something, rat?
No, of course not.
I wouldn't provoke my partner too much if I were you. He's plenty jumpy today, and he's sometimes rather unpredictable.
And as for you, blabbermouth, I'd watch my tongue if I were you. And you, get back to your nest, rat!
So how's...
Very quiet, except for a shooting at the entrance. I think someone tried to steal some food. And when that happens...
It would be a fantastic night if it wasn't for those revolting cats!
Cats?
My partner doesn't like cats. And tonight they've been howling non-stop since...
Filthy creatures! Dirty and pestilent! They're to blame for everything!
I won't bother you anymore.
Shut up, you filthy beasts! Goddamn mangy animals! Get out of there!
But what is your problem with cats?
Those cats are to blame for everything! They're what brought the disease to the city! They're what brought the virus that infects the dissolved!
Here we go again. I've told you 1,000 times. That's nonsense.
Of course it's not nonsense! I heard it from the friend of a friend who works in the research center!
Those poor creatures aren't to blame for anything.
Shut your face, you worm! You see that? It's comical! Rats defending cats!
Yes, it is comical. Cats being chased by pigs. In any case, those poor creatures can rest easy. That guy's arteries would burst before he'd be able to catch one of them. Someone put this empty tin can. Up close, it looks like there are crumbs of dried foods. More of the shattered glass that constitute, despite the thickness of the glass. Great. The sign that shows the name of this place is... What was this place before the Great Wave? In the old world, is a ruin. It's got to be one of the best Those two pigs seem to be watching that entrance very intently. They probably pumped me full of lead before I got a chance to turn the doorknob. Use this here? I don't think... Okay, I'll use the can to avoid touching those disgusting fish with my hands. I'm afraid I can't do that. But...
Of course! There you are, you mangy beasts! So you dared to come out, did you? Now I've got you! Ow! Goddamn revolting cats! Sooner or later I'll get each and every last one of you! I promise you!
Don't get mad. Your technique's improving. You almost got one this time.
Shut up!
They probably pumped me full before I got a chance. Can I ask you guys a few questions?
You
Be
I won't... This is the end point of the cable that crosses the... Now I get it. This is the system that controls the amount of current that reaches each of the streetlights.
What the shit? Why does nothing work right in this filthy city?
Looks like a voltage surge. Suppose you think the cats are to blame.
Shut your mouth or I'll shut it for you! I'm not letting those flea-bitten beasts out of my sight! No chance, mate!
The system that controls the amount that reaches the streetlights. They probably... Before I got a chance... A ridiculous little nobody. But dangerous. It's like Fatty Arbuckle exchanged his cream pies for rifle bullets. I'm afraid the brightest thing about this guy is the flashlight hanging from his belt. A roll of sticky electrical tape that's almost used up. No matter how hard I try to plug these in, I'd need a miracle to... I've already poked around enough in there. I don't want to end up getting zapped. They're what's left of the cinema section. Only a couple of biographies survived the fire. Let's see, Dario Argento and John Carpenter. I don't have a good feeling about the deep red of the cover. I'm not going to take one. Burnt paper. The whole place is full of it. Hey, wait! One of these posters has a photograph of Reverend Blake on it. The Beechwood Oracle Bookstore invites you to a reading of The Annihilation of Time, where you can meet the book's author, Edward Blake. That explains why that deranged preacher had the card from this place in his pocket. On the other hand, I no longer have the slightest doubt as to the name of this establishment. A copy of Heart of Darkness, with practically nothing left but the cover. I don't need to look through these pages. I've already seen the horror out there. In better times, they must have been overflowing with literature. Now they look like the aftermath of one of those book burnings in the old days that maybe aren't as distant as they seem. This screen doesn't look any better than the rest of the place. The fire turned it into a glob of plastic and glass, and there's nothing left of the computer it was connected to. No, computers are a deplorable waste of time when the hardware you're trying to use got wrecked in the Great Wave. The sign says, "Emergency exit, Beechwood Oracle Bookstore. Do not block." Well, it seems that in spite of the warning, this door is indeed blocked. I don't think I'm going to be able to open it that way. It reigns over the building with its crown of twisted antennas and broken air conditioners. On the rim, there's a shiny object. Although at this distance, I can't make out what it is. They crisscross the building facade from top to bottom. And from what I've seen, this system of staircases is used only on the oldest buildings in the city. Ray Bradbury, H.G. Wells. This shelf must have been part of the science fiction section. Although I suppose that after the Great Wave, it would be more fitting to move them to the current events section. No, I doubt there's anything in these stories that could surprise me. Dystopia. Could be the city's last name. Now I know why they stopped constructing buildings with these structures. Not only do they let you get out of the building in an emergency, they also let people get in from outside. The sign says, well, it seems that in spite of the warning... 4 wooden boards, somewhat charred. Unfortunately, that's all I was able to rescue from the shelves of Beechwood Oracle. The sign says, well, it seems that it doesn't look like it's going to be complicated to open this door with the crowbar. Done. They crisscross the building facade from top to bottom. And from what I've seen, this system of staircase... Hey, wait a minute. I've seen this place before. I've been here. I recognize this rooftop. Those trees, the park, the statue. Tomorrow comes today. Of course! The photo from the poster. It was shot from someplace in this very building. But what's the meaning of all this? And could it be that the voice wasn't actually trying to lead me to that burned out bookstore down there, but rather to this building? To this place? It's an empty, rusty bucket. So this is the gleam of metal that seems so interesting from down there? What a disappointment. A ton of useless objects are piling up in this corner. Nothing interesting. I guess that's the reason the neighbors left them here. These benches, fountains, and whereas the vegetation in this park, well, if that proves our failure as a species. It's a sculpture from my poster. Maybe it was an allegory of happy fatherhood until the Great Wave turned. From what I heard, all telecommunications collapsed. It seems like it took the Great Wave only a few seconds to turn all of our technology into scrap metal. The blades of this contraption must have stopped turning months ago, and I don't think doing without it is the There's a piece of paper stuck to the door, and it looks like it has a handwritten message on it. Let's see what it says here. Who could Sarah be? And this Chris, could he have something to do with the person I saw in my vision? Of course, it's locked, and I think it's better if I don't try to pick the lock. I could be mistaken for a burglar, and the last thing I need right now is for someone to call the guards patrolling this area. There's a metal plaque on the wall next to the door. Michael Argent, photographer. I can't believe it. This is the apartment of a man named Michael, an apartment located above the Beechwood Oracle bookstore, and in the building where the photograph on the poster was taken. Can all this really be a coincidence? It's hard to believe, but is it possible that the voice in my head has been guiding me to my own front door? The front door of this apartment has been reinforced with various locks and bolts. Despite the surveillance by the soldiers, the people who live in this building must be terrified of burglary and looting.
Isn't it time for you to go back to your nest, rat?
That ignorant bastard is starting to get on my nerves. Yes, I do have to be going. By the way, how did the chase go? Were those cats too quick for you?
You'd better go. It's not in your best interest to get my partner any more agitated. Not tonight.
You shut your mouth, you rat, or I'll shut it for you! I won't warn you again! Those beasts are possessed, and I'm going to exterminate them, one by one, with my bare hands if I have to!
I'm sure that would make you the pride of the force. Just one more thing. Try to stay away from the trash cans next time.
I've warned you, you filthy rat! You've worn out my patience! Ow! This'll teach you to treat me with a little more respect! I'm going to wipe that stupid grin off your face! Ouch! This is the only language you shitheads from the refugee camp understand! So, you're going to treat me with respect now, aren't you?
Come on, leave him alone. You'll kill him. He is a mole after all, and it's in our interest to keep him alive. Come on, let's get out of here.
Well, you're safe for now, but I have a very good memory for faces. Another day, I'll finish what we started, rat. I swear it.
I don't think doing this would serve any purpose. It doesn't look like it's happening. These stains mark the spot where that bloated psychopath... Now I can say I've made... Wait a minute. In all that blood there's something white. It's a fragment of one of my teeth. A cleaning bucket. Nothing else remarkable about it. It still works. In the flames. Okay, I'll use the bucket for what it was designed for, to be filled with water. Before I go down, in case the... I'll get my stuff. Here goes. Maybe we can still salvage something from the fire. Now that the fire is out, it sends shivers down my spine to think that this hunk of plastic belonged to little Colin. It's a sinister image, considering the boy's fate. The reflection... I'm not proud of what I'm about to do, but I need to find out that secret Rose is keeping from me. And if she wants her baby, I'll give her back her baby. I brought you your baby, Rose.
Did you bring me my baby? Did you bring him? Thank you so much, Mr. Sleepyhead. You kept your word. You brought me my baby. Now I need you to bring me a crib, like the one in the picture, Mr. Sleepyhead. And then I'll tell you the secret, the key that opens your chest of dreams.
I think it needs a little more work. I'm afraid even Rose would agree with me on that. From the mother's hairstyle and outfit. Besides, I swear that these rocking cradles went out of... Since it's made of wood, I can use the nails to attach something to it. But what? Let's see. I'll use the rusty nails to attach these two objects together.
You've brought me a cradle for my baby, Mr. Sleepyhead. But it's no good. It's not like the one in the picture. There's no rocker, see? So the cradle won't rock. I can't rock my baby to sleep. Bring me a cradle like...
Okay. Let's see. I'll use the electrical tape to join these two objects. The bad news is that I just used up all the electrical tape.
Thank you! Now I can rock my baby to sleep and sing to him.
Now I need you to tell me that secret you...
Yes, our secret. It's the key that opens your chest of dreams. And now, it's yours again.
Where did you get it?
I found it in your jacket after Rod and his wife gave me your clothes. When I got to my room, the key fell on the floor and made a clinking sound. I had just seen you sleeping in their trailer, like a big bear. And then I figured it out. It was the key to the chest where you were keeping your dreams. Because you like to dream, don't you? Of course you do. That's why your name is Mr. Sleepyhead.
The key that opens my chest of dreams. Thank you very much for your help, Rose. Take good care of your son. I should be going now.
No, please. Don't go. Don't leave me here. Now that I've found my baby, I have to get away from here. Far away. I have to get away from the haunted castle. If you leave, more men will come and hurt me, and they'll lock me up in the dark again. And I can't stand the dark. That's when those soldiers come back and take me with them. And now they'll want to hurt my baby, too.
The hunter was clear. I mustn't get mixed up in his affairs, or there'll be hell to pay. I'm sorry, Rose.
Mr. Sleepyhead, I can't stand it anymore. Don't let them touch me again. Please help me. You have to get me out of here. Like the knight in the stories. You're my knight, and I'm your princess.
Good God. This is unbearable. Victims and executioners. It sums things up. And what was I? What was my role before the Great Wave? Damn it. I can't just leave that poor girl to her fate, even if I don't know what that is yet. I'll help you, Rose. I'll help you get out of here.
Thank you, Mr. Sleepyhead. Do you promise?
Yes. A reminder of my clash with the soldiers, in case my memory fails me again. Let's see if my intuition is correct. Yes, the key that opens my chest of dreams is the key to my own apartment. The outside of this closet is covered with photos cut out of magazines and newspapers. It looks disproportionately huge in this tiny apartment. It's the backdrop I used for the photography I did at home. No, I'd only rip it if I tried. It can't be. It's me. This photo. I remember it. I remember this photograph.
Please, Michael, help us. Only you can do it.
And this woman she's Emily. She's my wife. Now I remember her. The person who's been communicating with me all this time. Emily.
I love you, Michael.
And I now pronounce you...
Don't ever leave me.
I won't.
I have something to tell you, Michael.
Are you really? Oh, yes!
Things are not going well between us, Michael. You know that.
It's only a rough patch. You'll see.
It's all your fault!
You have to get on top of this, Michael. It's destroying both of us. I'm afraid of you.
Shut up! Shut up!
Everything will be different. Remember that vacation we took to the beach? When we were getting to know each other? Everything will go back to the way it was.
Promise me.
I promise. Oh, Emily, what does all this mean? Where are you? How can I find you? What are these messages you keep repeating in my head? I've lost my mind. I've lost my mind. That's the only logical explanation for this. Oh, Emily. My poor Emily. Where are you? How can I find you? As dry and as empty as the contents of my memory. I see various liquor bottles scattered around the room. That explains the odor I find so unbearable. It's exactly the same view. No doubt this must have been one of my simplest and most lucrative jobs. I completed it without even leaving the house. X-Ray Medical Mag. That's the name of this newspaper. Now I understand. This file cabinet holds copies of newspapers and magazines my photos appeared in. It seems like as a photographer, I was very fond of my own work. Sandy Ridge Sentinel. The title of this publication appears in the front page. Union Country Messenger. One of the many newspapers stored in the filing cabinet. The New Truth. That's the name of this newspaper. First, I'll put the newspaper I took back in its place. As much as I might like my old photos, I have no intention of carrying around any more paper than necessary. The New Truth. The newspaper for those who have woken up. It looks like a decent publication, even though it was produced in a shoestring budget. The address of the office is at the bottom of the first page, and the article on the front page is under the byline of one Chris Blunstone. The address of the office and the article. A shelf with the photos, discs. This must be the repository. What for? None of these titles. It's like looking into a mirror and seeing a reflection you no longer recognize staring back at you. A somewhat antiquated model of an instant camera. Despite its appearance, it seems to be in perfect working order. I only see one problem. It has no film in it. Of course. The letters T and T on the letterhead of Sarah and Chris's note stand for the newspaper, The New Truth. I'll enter the address of the newspaper office shown on the front page. The map indicates a place near the main avenue of the city. Will it still be standing? Let's go find out.
Good God, Michael, is that you?
There's no question about it. That's the person I saw in my vision. The person mentioned in the note I found in my house. What was his name? Hello, Chris.
Come in, quickly. It's dangerous to be out on the streets at this hour. Michael, I'm so glad to see you again. After all that time without hearing from you, Sarah and I feared the worst. But tell me, why didn't you come sooner? Where have you been all this time?
From his enthusiastic welcome, it looks like this man and I were good friends in the past. before the entire world collapsed. But can I trust him? I don't know. Do I have any other choice? It's a long story, Chris. Very long.
I'm all ears, old friend.
And while I tell him everything I can remember, the few things in my memory since waking up in Rod's trailer, I see a mixture of tenderness and compassion on his face. Something I haven't seen in anyone else since waking up in this hellhole. I haven't the slightest doubt. I can trust this man.
I'm sorry for everything that happened, Michael. Sarah and I had been trying to get in touch with you for a long time, but the Great Wave made it impossible to find you. Now I know why. As a matter of fact, she went out to take that note to your house. I haven't seen her since. Tell me, did you find Sarah? Did she tell you she was coming here?
Sarah? I'm sorry, but I just found this handwritten note on the door. That's all.
Of course, forgive me. You already told me that you were blank. Sarah is my wife. Emily and she were close friends. In fact, they ran the Beechwood Oracle bookstore together, right below your apartment. That's how you started working with us at the New Truth. And the two of you, Emily and you, became like family to us. I want you to know that what happened to Emily affected us deeply, Michael. Sarah was devastated. We could hardly bring ourselves to speak to you at the time. I'm so sorry for what happened to her.
What the hell are you talking about?
Good God. Don't tell me you don't remember that either. Emily died, Michael.
But that's impossible.
I'm sorry to be the one to make you relive that hell. You yourself told Sarah and me on the phone a little while before you returned home. It happened scarcely a few days before the Great Wave hit. At the paper, we sent you on an assignment to do a photo essay on those strange lights that had been sighted in the sky over Tokyo. So you got all your photography equipment together and set off right away. Emily went with you. You two decided to use the trip as a chance to work on your marriage, which had been in trouble for a long time. You were in bad shape, Michael. Your financial problems, her miscarriages, your violent, self-destructive nature. Emily couldn't take it anymore. You were putting her through too much back then.
Things are not going well between us, Michael. You know that.
It's only a rough patch. You'll see.
It's all your fault!
You have to get on top of this, Michael. It's destroying both of us. I'm afraid of you.
I can't help it. It's that demon. You know I can't help it.
From what you told us, things were getting better. After so many years, both of you were starting to rediscover each other.
Everything will be different. Remember that vacation we took to the beach? When we were getting to know each other? Everything will go back to the way it was.
Promise me.
I promise.
Until one night in your hotel, Emily started to feel sick. It all happened very fast. She was having fainting spells, vomiting, running a fever. You took her to the nearest hospital where she was admitted immediately.
Emily, what's happening? Emily! Emily!
And a few hours later, they told you she was dead. They wouldn't even let you see her body. They wouldn't let you see her. The Japanese authorities hustled you off on the next plane out. It was all very strange and disconcerting. And the very night you arrived, the Great Wave hit.
Oh, Emily. Now I remember it. I remember everything.
I remember her pale, haggard face when she took my hand. Don't worry. It's nothing. Everything will be all right, she was saying, while they were wheeling her deep into the hospital, and she waved goodbye to me, forcing a smile to cover her fear. And then I saw it. I swear I could see how time was stopping, little by little, in her eyes. Emily can't be dead. She talks to me. I've been hearing her voice. You must think I've lost my mind.
From the little we were able to talk to you before you got back, we could see that her death hit you terribly hard, Michael. You felt extremely guilty for the way you treated her those last few years. You said you would never be able to forgive yourself. It's possible that the pain warped your mind, But it's also possible that what is happening to you is real.
If Emily died before the Great Wave, how can what's happening to me be real?
Let me tell you something. In spite of the catastrophe, at the New Truth, we've never stopped working. And since the Great Wave, our contacts and confidential sources haven't stopped bringing us the most incredible and chilling information you could imagine. Thousands, no, millions of unexplained phenomena are taking place simultaneously all over the world, Michael. We're living through the strangest and most confusing times in our history, and any hypothesis, no matter how crazy, must be taken into consideration, even what you just told me. There's no question that something extraordinary is happening all over the world because of the Great Wave, the emergence of the dissolved, and our gradual approach to the dead synchronicity point.
Dead synchronicity? What's that?
It's very difficult to explain, Michael. We're still so short of information. But I will tell you one thing. Time is running out. The Great Wave triggered a landslide of death and destruction that's accelerating by the day. And the end will be absolutely devastating.
Look around you, Chris. It's impossible for the situation to get worse.
If the theory about the approach of the dead synchronicity point is true, the future that awaits us will make everything we've seen up to now seem like a walk in the park, Michael. The arrival of the dead synchronicity point will mean the end of the world as we know it. The end of the laws of nature, the laws of physics, the very meaning of existence. And with them, of course, the end of the human species on the face of the earth. And indeed, in some cases, it's already happening. But the good news is that if this hypothesis is correct, reverse the situation.
Reverse the situation? You mean avoid the future you're talking about? Is that possible?
Of course it is. No, not yet. It would be too complex for you to understand, and I don't want to create any false hope. I can't tell you anything more for the time being. We need more information, more sources, and we need them urgently. Time is running out, in every sense of the word.